And this meeting will be called to order. We do have a quorum today, and we will proceed. If you're going to address the commission, do address the commission. You will not be talking to each other. And you will come up here and state your name and your address, and then you will be recognized and more than welcome to speak. And welcome.
Good morning.
And good morning to everyone. The first thing on the agenda today is approval of the minutes. Have you all had a chance to read the minutes?
We have, and I'd like to make a motion to approve those minutes as written.
It has been moved and seconded that we will approve the minutes from the last session. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It has been passed unanimously. The first thing on our agenda is for public hearings today is REZ 94325. Bloomfield Companies is requesting to rezone APN number 102-43034, which is located at 1736 South Monterith Lane. This property is north of Highway 70 and on the west side of Monterith Lane. The current zone is A, that's general use, and they're requesting it to go to a CG, that's commercial general. Mark, would you?
Yeah, thank you. So just to give you a little backstory on this parcel here, in the past it has had a temporary use permit. Frito-Lay used this as a commercial facility for years. When Bloomfield Companies bought this property, the temporary use permit did go away. And then Mr. Davis reached out to us, and from a few of my letters that we're kind of requesting them to change the zoning to the current use that it's being used for right now is just storage for their Morenci operations. They did originally ask for CM, but due to the parcel size, it doesn't have enough acreage, and that's why that's why they're asking for the CM or the CG zoning, which is commercial general. Mr. Davis, would you like to speak on this?
I covered it great.
All right. Thank you.
Is there any questions? Is there anyone to speak against this? Hearing none.
They've already been using it for, right?
Ma'am, did you fill out a public participation form? No, I did not. Okay. Okay. If you could fill out a public participation form, and then you can come up and speak to the commissioners. You can come up now. You can fill that out later. Just state your name and your address, please, and the microphone. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, commissioners. My name is LaShawna Coleman. I live at 1697 South Monterith Lane in Safford, Arizona, and that is just a few paces away from the property that's requested to be rezoned. I am not necessarily in opposition. I have some concerns and questions, though. My parents left me the home, and it was meant for a homestead. That's my question. How is this going to affect my property or homestead or the zoning there? I know it's my individual property, and it's going to continue to be zoned, I would assume, for what it's currently zoned for. The other concern I had was, as was previously mentioned here, that I grew up in the neighborhood with Frito-Lay there. And I wondered, when I received this letter, I wondered, well, why would they have to rezone this? because Frito-Lay certainly was for commercial use. So why would you not just reinstate or grandfather the use of that property under the usage that Frito-Lay had once had there? If this is going to affect anything. The other concern is traffic. Like, people go down through that neighborhood at, I mean, 90, 80. I mean, they treated that road as if it's part of the highway there. And I had been meaning to request a subsequent traffic study for that road. One was submitted years ago before my mother passed away. And it came back that the top speed was about 100 miles per hour in a 25 mile an hour zone. And as we all know, that is considered criminal speed. So there also is, there's a bus that comes through that neighborhood, so there are children there. We used to play in the road. That's how safe it was when I grew up. There are children there. I don't see them outside playing because of the cars and the speeding that goes on in that neighborhood. I've asked several officers. I didn't write their names down, unfortunately, to maybe police or patrol the neighborhood, or maybe, put up a speed monitoring sign. It doesn't have to necessarily be speed bumps, because my neighbor who requested the survey was told that the speed bumps would tear up people's cars, and that's why they just chose to ignore the 100 mile per hour speeding that goes on in a 25 mile per hour zone. So those are basically my concerns. I've heard that it is just going to be for the storage, and I would assume that that would be initially. There are also diesels that run down there because of, that trucking, Barney Trucking. I have spoken to several neighbors, and I could get a petition together. I know they're busy. I've had some time to come in here this morning, but most people do work, so that's probably why nobody else has shown up here. But I can get a petition together as far as, the speeding and the diesels that go down through there and some of the other things that people we're concerned about there. Yeah, thank you.
Just to clarify for the commissioners, were you in favor for the zoning change, or were you in opposition?
If this is going to be something that exacerbates the issues that the community is currently experiencing with the traffic and the diesels and all the noise and things of that nature, then I'm definitely opposed. And as I said, I can go ahead and somebody has a format for a petition, I would be happy to go around and petition the neighborhood for it.
Okay, so what you're want Mark to answer is why the change.
Why the change is needed, because
Okay,
if
I'm
Frito-Lay
sure
was there.
I'm sure there's a,
Sure.
we will clarify that for
Sure.
you.
So
Thank you
if,
so much.
I mean,
and most of your stuff that you've talked about, that would come to the Board of Supervisors.
sure.
But we really appreciate everything.
I mean, I've been here, as I said, I'm just getting around to things. I've been here for years taking care of Mom, and I'm just getting around to things. I meant to take care of the speeding thing, but, I've other things. It's on the list, but Yeah. Okay, so thank you.
Does they
Thank you.
have anything to talk to her about before Mark addresses it?
Well, I would just ask if you're just basically changing the zoning, the use is gonna be the same, right?
Yeah, so they're not currently using it as that. This actually initiated as a code zoning and enforcement
Yeah. so
because
it's
they were
like
using
basically they're just making
the
it
property
legal.
incorrectly.
This should have been done years ago, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
so when Frito-Lay was using the property, they had a temporary use permit. But when the property sells, the temporary use permit goes away, and then that zoning actually goes back to A general, which is the current use right now. So with our letters, they've kind of pulled back from using the property, but now it's come time where they're ready to use the property and use it for the commercial general
Yeah,
purpose.
so, yeah, if it hadn't
So-
been a problem.
So, can you speak into the microphone, please?
If a subsequent temporary use permit were to be applied for by Bloomfield, how long would that permit be in effect?
Till they sell the property, I believe.
Sure, till they sell the property. Okay, so,
Isn't that correct?
okay, so this is, I don't mean to be rude, but maybe it's overkill. I mean, I don't know. It's maybe unnecessary to even take this on. If it's possible to apply for a temporary use.
That's not what's being applied.
That's not what's being applied for today. Sure. So this is just asking questions, because if there's something else that would work rather than, right?
Yeah.
So that's,
So yes, thank you, and those are all good concerns. So as far as just to speak onto your homestead, this zoning doesn't affect where you live at all, but just right to the west, all of that area is CM zoning currently. So everything is CM zoning around that neighborhood already, including all the way down to the north of Monteith Lane also. Any other questions, commissioners? Absolutely, yeah, come on up.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Commissioner. My name is Dallas Davis. I am the new owner of Bloomfield Companies. I reside at 580 North, 1276 West in Pima. Last time the address was that way, I think, but they change it often. But this property that we have here is really just a satellite property to our operations out of Morenci, which is where most of our construction occurs out there. And really, I respect the questions, because if this was my neighborhood, I'd be asking the same questions about my property and the safety of my family and children in that area. Our intentions there are to use it, essentially what we have used it for in the past is to store things in the warehouse that's there. And we also do some training for our people that work up in Morenci. About every quarter, we bring about 10 people together in a conference room and we do some training. And so we would probably take half of this building and use it as a conference area to be able to do some of that training, which is, most of this training is pretty boring at the table, where we just sit around and talk about safety up at the mine operation. So our use there would probably see considerably less traffic than you ever saw from Frito-Lay, although we would have some people in there intermittently. So, but I do respect the question of that, and I actually appreciate it. That I think that I definitely would be asking the same questions if it were my neighborhood. So thank you.
There wouldn't be any chemicals or anything like hazardous around.
I don't see a problem with it, because basically it's the same or less, so. Yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to move this with a favorable to the board.
I'll second that one.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion on this matter? Then all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It has been passed. Ma'am, this will go before the Board of Supervisors at their next meeting. And that's a time that you can also, we're
So
an advisory board, and they will make the final decision on this. And that will be on my paperwork right here. When is
yeah, it'll be heard at the January 5th Board of Supervisors meeting at 8
January
a.m.
5th?
Yep, January 5th.
And be there at, what, 8:30?
8 a.m. that
8
meeting
a.m.
starts. Yep.
Because you're not sure quite when they're gonna hear it, so you'll want to be there at 8. Okay, the next thing on our agenda is REZ 94425. That's for Stephanie Howard. She's requesting a rezone from A, that's general land use, to RMH, residential manufactured home for the future development of APN number 102040335F and APN number 1020416. These parcels are located south of East Grand Canal Road, north of the river, and east of 8th Avenue.
Thank you. So yeah, the Howards are here, and if you guys would like to say anything, I do just kind of want to give a little bit of back history on this too, and then we also have one opposition that I would like to read verbatim from the email. So where that orange line is, the dotted orange line, that runs right through there. That's actually the floodway. So a septic system would not be allowed below that area, and I spoke with Ms. Howard about that, just to kind of bring it to your guys' attention, just so you know before, so you can make a good decision. But yeah, other than that, that's all I have on that. The opposition is from Denise Reyes. She's the farm manager of Wansley Farm LLC. The parcel just to the west, it's a 162-acre parcel. And I just want to read that letter to the commission. And it's also in the back of your packet. Dear Planning and Zoning Commission, Wansley Farm LLC owns land parcel number 102-04003D. This farm is an original homestead granted in the late 1800s and has been under cultivation since that time. Our concern with the rezoning of the parcels in item REZ 944-25 are related to the normal parts of agricultural production. There will be noise, chemical usage, and dust, to name a few things that residential land use may find objectionable. In addition, the parcels in the rezoning request are located along and include the Gila River. This puts these parcels in a flood zone simply by proximity. When the Gila River floods, that would potentially push the debris from the housing units onto Wansley Farm. While floods are terrible in their own right, it is strange that R.G. Howard Land Holding LLC would want to risk, as R.G. Howard Farms is the current leaseholder to Wansley Farm cultivable land and has been for over 10 years. Please take these items into consideration as you make your decision. So, would you like to come present it, Mr. Howard? Or Sam?
So, sent down. That's in the.
And this is pretty much the one that's.
Well, you'll see the line there that he's talking about with the floodway.
Uh-huh.
Which one is the one that's away, this is the
Yeah,
flood?
this is the floodway where they
Okay.
put down a potential walking park or a dog park. So this is the line of the floodway right there. So
Okay.
we're trying to stay out of the floodway with all 3 phases.
You're just gonna build houses?
No, it would be at RV
Oh,
Park. Yeah, it would all, so it would satisfy all the all the suggestions.
So if there was a flood, they could move them,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, then they can bring them up to the Safford wastewater treatment. Take care of it there. More traffic.
That's right.
Are you trying to do all of this on septic systems?
We would have to do it on septic systems.
Because I know we've had several in the past try that and it never works out because ADQ demands.
There's a bit of infrastructure that would be required, that's right.
Yeah, I know the one in Pima, what was it? They had 5 acres of RV park, need 20 acres of leach field. So, and then we just had the one south of town walk away from a project to do it too because they wanted $1 million of infrastructure, so. And there's no sewer line.
There is a sewer line, not a sewer, the jail sends their sewage over the bridge in a line, but no, there's not a.
Yeah, I remember when we built the bridge, that was a problem. They forgot to add that, and they just added it big enough for the jail, and it won't.
Yeah, that would obviously be pending engineering, if we could get if the engineering would find a way to do it in a way that would work for the septic.
Yeah. The only other one that I saw was that deal in Texas where they had an RV park next to the river and it washed it completely
Oh,
away.
I agree, that was something that I noticed too recently.
Yeah, I
That's
saw
been in
that.
my mind, yeah. Yep.
Before you start, Sam.
Yeah.
You've got a laundry here. Would that be just a leach for the soap or the water coming off of that, or?
That would need to be tied into a septic as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Did he fill out a form?
We were gonna look into other options too, like see if there's an option for holding tanks to have sewage pumped occasionally, things like that. So we're looking into all of our options, but we haven't spent a ton of money on it yet, just because we need to get the approval to go and actually spend some money and see if it'll work. So.
Do you mind stating your name?
Oh, J.R. Howard, sorry. Yeah.
Have you developed other properties and stuff around the valley?
Yes.
Before?
Yeah.
One of the concerns on this, the opposition was about this being next to some other farmland. Are any of the other developments that have already been done, are they adjoining it? Because that's what I think.
Well, we actually farm the farm that is in opposition, and I'm surprised about the opposition, but that's sorry, I didn't.
Would you say that like it's not uncommon to see development against farm property in this valley?
Oh, it's not uncommon. It's actually, I mean, it's happening. So, but so what happened with this field is we used to farm it, but we can't anymore because of the water decree issues. So we're trying to figure out a use for it, and also figure out a way to help with the housing issue that we've got in this area.
How would you access it as far as a road in and out?
Okay. So
Right here, we just bought this parcel right here. Bought this parcel, so this parcel was in from the phase one. Here's phase one. This is Melbank Road, this is Road. Yeah, like you said, this is all under cultivation now. All used to be under cultivation. Well, I'm with you. We would rather never have any farmland taken out of this valley. But we can't do anything with this anymore. And also, we just live in as soon as they built that mine, we had to realize we have to start building things. Getting in with the times and finding other investments as well.
plus, it's not in our plans to take anything out of cultivation that you can see. in cultivation right there, it's not in our plans to take anything out that can be. And that's our main thing is farming, so.
Is there any other questions of Mark or anyone?
Well, we were just talking about the sewer system, if they don't think that they will be able to get that, or if you said these other guys are not being able to get that.
That's ADQ, though, that's not us.
I think that it's up to the state to go over and
Yeah.
regulate their sewer systems and how they develop all that, you know.
So
I
will
mean,
that be a part of this motion, or just the
it'll
state
be-
will do
it'll
their
just-
thing, you
Yeah,
know?
and they probably have to have this cleared up into that before they can move to other
Yeah,
steps
you're
to
right.
progress. And so, you know, and then having, you know, the opposition, you know, mostly talked about, you know, flood zone problems and also, you know, against farming, you know, but around the valley, I mean, like there's farms all over the place.
I
And, like,
know,
and
Red
this
Lane,
sounds like
everywhere.
it might be hot land anyway, so we gotta, you know, the county has to do something with some of these properties.
So these RVers would have like a limit of how long they could stay there? I mean, they could go dump their septic once a week, twice a week.
No, they can't.
They can't.
No. No, that's against our ordinance.
No, they
So
got,
if they're to create an RV park, they have to have a sanitary system
Ah,
on site
okay.
that's approved by the Graham County Health Department and or ADEQ.
Okay.
and there's a whole set of stuff that goes with that.
Yeah.
That.
So.
Well, I don't have
That's
any
not
problem with this as long as like, I mean, the state boys are gonna like basically, you know, come in and
Dictate it.
regulate it,
Yeah.
make sure it's done right.
I agree with that, and so, having heard that, I'd like to move for a favorable recommendation to our board for this.
Second that.
Do we have anybody in the public that has opposition? You do have a question on this agenda item? Did you fill out a public participation form?
Would you,
Okay, good.
would
I
you,
guess we gotta head.
Come on over. If you could just state your name and your address for us, and, into the microphone, please, so we can get you on recording. So, thank you.
Mary McKinnon. I'm at 1293 North 2nd Avenue. Used to be 215 Grand Canal Road. And I actually set up, you know, they're all down here in the flood zone, and I'm up here, and my place was flooded in '07 before we bought where we're at. And my flood insurance is off the Richter scale. I mean, it is just crazy. I was just wondering about the flood insurance and how these people are even, but you said it wasn't going to be manufactured homes, it was going to be RVs, right? That's what you're pulling in there or whatever. And whereabouts does that adjoin my place? I mean, all that was down there, they used to run cattle down there. I love the cattle. I love. Well,
you'll need to come up to the mic so they can get you recorded.
believe it or not, if I could leave my manufactured home this much over, and I was flooded. And I even got the elevation certificate to bring everything up, and I still didn't find it. The highest. Mary McKinnon. Okay, yeah, I actually. Mine goes into the canal, half the canal there, but yeah, that was my only thing. I'm like, wow, because I had no clue with the, and I'm old and I've got 2 grandbabies I'm trying to get, or grandbabies, God, they're up, I got another 7 years. But to, that flood, for the flood just cost me crazy. So how would that be affected with everybody that moves in there? Would they have to take on their own flood insurance and stuff like that with their own place? It would, huh? Yeah, because they didn't tell me, well, neither did 1AZ and all the rest of them. Yeah, but anyway, that was my question, unless it all miraculously goes away, and I don't have to pay that crap every year. I'll be a happy camper right here, you know? So, but that was my only concern. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Participation form, please. So yeah, the insurance, that's always a big question, and that's why RV parks are predominantly in the flood zone, because they have to remain roadworthy to be in a recreational vehicle park. So, I mean, if we do get the alarm that, hey, there's a flood coming, typically, you know, they have enough time to hook up to the trailer and pull it out. So, and being recreational vehicles, they have their own auto insurance too. But I mean, as a business in the park, they would have to have their own insurance. Cost of that, I have no idea.
Could use a good flood.
All right, any other questions, commissioners?
Is there anybody else to speak to this item? Okay, hearing none. then-
I'd like to make my motion again to go over and pass it.
And I'll second it again.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we send a favorable recommendation to the Board of Supervisors on this matter. Is there any more discussion on that? All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you, and thank you all for this.
Who was the opposed? Was there any
no
opposed? No opposed?
No
Okay,
opposition.
thank you.
The next item on the agenda is, Mark, do you want to address that?
Yes, absolutely. So this is an ordinance of the Board of Supervisors of Graham County, Arizona, making an amendment to the Graham County zoning ordinance to add provisions regulating accessory dwelling units in compliance with House Bill 2928, 2025, and ARS State Statute 11-810.01 and 11-269.17. So this is the ordinance that we all knew was coming. We do have to have this voted on and approved in January, and that's why it's coming across your guys' desk this month. We do have, just because of the how large this ordinance change is, we do recommend going into an executive session temporarily just to discuss the details, and then reconvening into a public hearing shortly after.
I'd like to make a motion to have an executive meeting for this.
Yes, for legal advice, go to executive session.
You want to second that?
I'll second.
Okay, we will now go into an executive session. Thank you all for being here today.
The ringer down, but it still rings.
It wants to talk to you.
Oh, I get like 70-something calls a day.
5th.
I need to take this and read it. Can I take the back part of my,
Yeah, these are
okay.
ours.
You know
Because I
what
didn't
that
really get
screen
a chance
looks
to
like
read
is
it.
the stock market.
Like close and careful.
To think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, make your motion.
Okay, we are back in regular session now. Do you want to?
Some discussion or?
No, I don't think we can discuss it. I think we can just,
Yeah.
okay.
I make a motion that we come out of executive session.
I second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now we're official.
All right, we're back.
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve favorable passage of the ordinance number 2025-1. A favorable recommendation to our board.
I second.
It's been moved and seconded that we do send a favorable recommendation for this to our Board of Supervisors. Is there any more discussion? Then are you ready for the question? All those in favor?
Aye.
I
Opposed? Okay, we will send a favorable recommendation. Is there anything else to come before this meeting, Mark?
Yes, so we don't have any unfinished business, but we do have 2 items that we need to
Need to
set
set up
public
for
hearing.
next, yeah, I was like all through here.
Yeah, I already like wrote mine up.
Yeah, where are we? There it is. Okay, we do have some items to be set up for public hearing. The first thing on the agenda is,
The items to be set up.
so is,
Are easy.
can we get a motion to set these up for the
You
public
gotta read
hearing?
'em.
You have to read the number or?
Yeah, you have to read each agenda item. We have to set them up
It's on the front
individually.
page.
Yeah, I think they make you do anything.
It's on the front.
Big old long
There you
old
go.
things. I have to reset my mind here.
I can read those for you.
Okay,
Madam
that's all
Chairman.
right.
So,
Items to be set up for a public hearing is REZ 94525. That's APN 10607-062. A request was made by Joby's to rezone from AR Agriculture Residential to CM Commercial Manufacturing. The status address is southwest corner of Lebanon Loop Road on Highway 191.
I'd like to make a motion to set this up for our next hearing.
Okay.
was
All
that
those-
the second, that one?
There was a second.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. It has been passed, that'll be set up. The next item is REZ 94625, APN 10921-004 and 10921-005 and 10920-011. A request was made by Freeport McMoran to rezone from A, that's a general land use, to M manufacturing. The status address is approximately 325 west of AZER, Arizona Eastern Railroad, right away, and approximately 370 feet running north and south parallel to the road over those 3 parcels. Could we ask some, where in the heck is this things?
We're gonna pull that up on the map for you right now.
Okay.
Up by Fort Thomas,
Oh, really?
on the way to Fort Thomas, Ashurst.
Looks
Oh,
good.
Ashford, okay. Yeah, I own property down there. I should probably check it out. What are they gonna build?
He's pulling it up.
Huh?
He's pulling it up.
Zoom
So-
out a little bit.
So from my understanding with this, they're wanting to have a rail car area for their chemicals right in this area.
They want to unload acid.
So, thank you.
What exactly is that? Like you said, in Asher, so it's like. What's it close to?
Fort Thomas.
Is it close to my house?
So right there, we've got West Loop Road. And
Is
then
that
in
the
between-
funeral, graveyard at the top there?
The graveyard's right here,
Okay,
so,
right.
and then West Loop Road's here.
So it's over on, Molno's, what was Molno? Molno's?
Can you click on the parcels, please? So, and right now, this rezone crosses 3 parcels. But if the rezone does get approved, they're going to combine it and they're gonna split that rezone square out where, because they're only wanting to do just right in the middle of those 3 parcels. So,
I'd like to make a motion to set this up for next meeting.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Could we have a vote on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there any other things you want to bring before us?
Yeah, just to bring to your guys' attention, there were 3 road names that were approved at the Board of Supervisors. That was Pertessa Lane, Mirkwood Lane, and Clearview Drive. So Pertessa Lane is right there off of North Clough Avenue. And then Clearview Drive is off of Swift Trail and Dakota Drive. They're doing some development up there, and that's where the Clearview Drive Road is. And then Mirkwood is right off of Stable Drive. So.
Questions?
All right. Thank you, commissioners, for your time.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting is now adjourned.
How did your meeting go last time, your breakfast or whatever? I couldn't make it.
It was good. Good food.
Yeah, it was.
All right, I'll